In this video, we're going to customize the run form. Make what the user fills in when running the process clear and comfortable instead of rough. In the previous video, we published version 1.0.0, so the process can now be executed. But there's a detail. If you run it today, the form appears crude. It shows the two input fields we defined at the beginning, feedback text and NPS score, with their technical names as is, and a generic box for each one. It works, but it's not friendly for the person using it. That's what we'll fix today. Let's remember, when someone executes the process, Qamaq asks for the input fields, the ones we marked as in our case, feedback text and NPS score. The run form is the tool to decide how each field looks and how that input is filled in. The main thing is to choose the control. The control is the type of input box that the person uses to complete the data. It can be a long text box, a numeric field, a drop-down list to choose an option, a calendar for a date, or a button to upload a file. Besides the control, you give it a friendly label. You define in what order the fields appear and whether it's required. And here's the most important part, so there's no confusion. This is only presentation. The fields type doesn't change. If we give NPS score the number control, it's still a number underneath, and Qamaq does the conversion on its own. If we give feedback text long text, it's still text. You're changing the field's outfit, not its body. That's why customizing the form never breaks the process logic. Before we touch anything, a continuity clarification. The form is not something separate. It lives inside the diagram of the version, and our version 1.0.0 is already published, meaning it's locked. We saw this in the previous video. Changes cannot be saved to it. So this is precisely the case we mentioned earlier. To change something, you don't touch the published version, you create a new one. We click on Create Version. Qamaq asks us the size of the change, patch, minor, or major. And since we're going to add a process improvement, we choose minor. We confirm with the Save Version button. Version 1.1.0 will be created. Two things, so this step is clear. The 1.1.0 is built from the last thing you saved with the Save Diagram button. That's the starting point, your last saved version of the diagram. Nothing more is needed. And two, important. So it doesn't confuse you. Creating a version has nothing to do with publishing. It's not necessary to have published in order to create a new version. You simply take your saved diagram and copy it into the next version. The 1.1.0 is born as an editable draft, and on it we'll work on the form, without affecting whoever is using the 1.0.0. Now in the 1.1.0, we open the Data Structure panel. And there's the Run Form button. We click it. The Configure Run Form window opens, and at the top it says clearly, set how each input appears when someone runs this process. Drag to reorder, expand a field to choose its control and options. So let's start with the feedback. We expand feedback text. And in control, we choose long text, because the customer can write an entire paragraph. In label, we put a friendly name, Customer Feedback. In placeholder, a hint of what to write. For example, paste the customer's message here, and we mark it as Required Field, because without feedback, the process has nothing to process. Now NPS. We'll expand the NPS Dr. Score field to customize it. In control, we choose number, a numeric field. In the placeholder, we'll add 0 to 10 to guide users on the expected range, and we'll enable required field for the NPS score. We can reorder the fields by dragging them. For example, we can drag NPS CR score above feedback text, and then drag it back to its original position. We click Apply to confirm the run form configuration. Careful with this step. It's where people get stuck. Apply wrote the configuration into the diagram we have open in the editor, but it's not saved yet. And here's the important part. The form is saved with Save Diagram because it's a design change to the process, part of the diagram. Don't confuse it with Generate Process, which is something else, that generates an instance to run the process. What we did is design, and design is saved like any other change to the diagram. We click Save Diagram. A notification appears at the bottom right. Version 1.1.0 saved successfully. Before publishing, let's check it came out right. Remember that while saving I mentioned generate process, the one that creates an instance to run the process? Well, now we do want to run it. To test, so we use it. Just like when we ran the process end to end, we generate a new process instance. New. So it picks up the form we just changed. Careful with one detail. If you reused an old instance, you'd see the previous form, because an instance takes the form from the moment it's generated. That's why we create a new one. We click the Generate Process Instance button. We type NPS feedback, run 7 as the label, and we click Generate. We click the Show Execution Controls button. We select the newly created NPS feedback, run 7 instance, and we click the Run Entire Workflow button. The Before Starting modal appears, now showing the customized form with friendly labels, placeholders, and a larger text area. We click Cancel. The new form applies to new instances, and we will now publish the new version. We click the RC button. In the invite testers for this release candidate modal, we click the Promote to RC button. The version status changes to RC. We then click the Published button. In the Change Version Status modal, we click the Change to Published button. We click the Activate button. In the Activate Version modal, we click the Activate Version button. The diagram's version status updates to 1.11.0 published and active stable release. Let's summarize the key takeaways from this video. What we take away. The run form changes how the form looks, not what the process does or the type of data it handles. The conversion is automatic. And since it lives inside the version, a change like this means creating a new version and publishing it, just like we did today with 1.11.0. And before moving on, one question remains. Who can run this process? So far, we've left it open to the whole organization. In the next video, we control exactly that, defining who can run the process by department, position, team, role, or a specific person. That's what's coming.